Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan receives report of the forensic audit report into the alleged missing $20 billion oil revenue. Also in this program, federal government confirms the recapture of Gamborungala and other towns from Boko Haram by troops. All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari meets organized private sector, promises to revamp the economy. Outside Nigeria, United States and European Union negotiators gather in Brussels, the Belgian capital, to negotiate the world's biggest ever trade deal. Thanks for joining us again. President Goodluck Jonathan has received the report of the forensic audit of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission from representatives of PricewaterhouseCoopers. The audit was ordered in the aftermath of claims by the then Central Bank Governor Lamido Sanusi that $20 billion was missing from the nation's coffers. The report was submitted by the country's senior partner of the audit firm, Uye Akpata, at a brief ceremony witnessed by the Auditor General of the Federation. We'll bring you details of that report later on. A car bomb went up near the venue of President Goodluck Jonathan's campaign rally in Gombe. Eyewitnesses say the explosion occurred a few minutes after the rally was addressed by the president. Nigerian government officials have confirmed the blast but say it's too early to know the casualty figure. President Goodluck Jonathan had earlier postponed his campaign visit to Yobe State on security grounds before opting for Gombe, also in northeast Nigeria. Meanwhile, there are also reports that Nigerian authorities say troops have retaken 5 towns earlier captured by Boko Haram in Borno State and at least 10 others in Adamawa State. This, they say, is in the aftermath of a failed attempt by the insurgents to take over Maiduguri. Coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Mary, said at a news conference in Abuja that the second attack on the city was from various fronts. He also confirmed that a number of high-caliber weapons were recovered from the insurgents.
These attacks, which were simultaneously launched by the insurgents, were ultimately aimed at overrunning the strategic town of Maiduguri. They were effectively resisted by our gallant troops, assisted by local volunteers. This brave action, in addition to the recovery of 3 armored personnel carriers and 17 pickup trucks, also resulted in heavy casualties on the side of the insurgents, the total figure of which is yet to be ascertained, as well as the recapture of the towns of Mafa, Gamborungala, Malamfatori, Abadam, and Marte, while troops are advancing to retake other affected areas at the moment. The situation in Adamawa shows that Hong, Mubi North, Mubi South, Maiha, Michika, Shua, Wuro Gambi, Gombi, Vintim, Uba, Baza, and other areas have been liberated from Boko Haram control, while Madagali, Gulak, Wagamildo, Shelni, Vapra, Sabongari, and Gubla are still under Boko Haram presence.
While Omeri also confirmed that a car bomb went off near the venue of President Goodluck Jonathan's campaign rally in Gombe. He confirmed the blast but says it's too early to know the casualty figure.
We got confirmation that there was actually a blast at the Waterboard Junction in Gombe town. The incident took place soon after the president and his entourage had left the stadium in Gombe. Casualty figures are still being ascertained. It just happened. What do you do? Who is standing there to count the number of people affected? So in another, this is an incident that just happened. Another 30 minutes, 1 hour, like those ones, you will get. We have always given you figures here. But these that involve a large number of persons and is like combat in combat, I will not be in a hurry to mislead the press.
Barely 48 hours after the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria declared a suspension of the 8-month-old strike in Rivers State, unknown persons have bombed 3 separate high courts in Degema, Isiokpo and Port Harcourt areas of the state. The incidents were coordinated and happened almost simultaneously in the wee hours of Monday, just as the State Police Command confirmed that minimal damages were recorded and no life was lost. It was gathered that one of the courts in Degema was completely razed by unidentified arsonists, with many documents burnt beyond recognition. 2 courts in the state were attacked before the judiciary workers embarked on strike on June 10, 2014. Meanwhile, some states have begun to back out of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria strike, a call has gone out to the Plateau chapter from the chairman of Plateau State's Nigeria Bar Association, Barrister Lafa Defa. Defa called on the judiciary co-workers to call off the 1-month-old strike to allow room for negotiations. While speaking with our reporter in Jos, he urged the people of the state to be patient because they are only doing what other judicial workers are engaged in across the country.
They are just doing what is going on all over the country, because all over the country, no state has practically and satisfactorily complied with the order of the court. So that's why all the state judiciaries have not yet been reopened. It's only the state federal government courts that are reopened.
He also urged the occasion to appeal to the workers to temper justice with mercy, because so many are languishing in jail due to the inability of the courts to sit.
We should consider the plight of the society, because as it is now, there are some people that were supposed to have been released since early this year, and they're still languishing in prison. And people that are being suspected to have committed one criminal act or so, since the beginning of this year, they have been there either with the police, and the police detention rooms are not enough to accommodate these people. It's only the court that can grant bail in issues like that. So I'm suggesting to JUSIN to be reasonable in their demands, and the state government too to be reasonable in their consideration, the demands of JUSIN.
Legal officers at the Federal Ministry of Justice have begun a 3-day warning strike to press home their demand for better conditions of service. They warned that the warning strike will snowball into a full-blown action if the management fails to meet their conditions. The workers operating under the umbrella of the Law Officers Association of Nigeria had called the strike to protest what they called worsening conditions of service. Before the strike, the workers had given the authorities a 21-day deadline to address their grievances. Lagos businessman Molade Okoya-Thomas is dead. Okoya-Thomas, who holds the traditional titles of the Ashoju Oba of Lagos, Babasuwa of Ijebu-Remo and Odofin of Ife, was until his death the Chancellor of the Lagos State University and Chairman of CFAO Nigeria Limited. He was a sports enthusiast and sponsor of the popular annual Ashoju Oba Table Tennis Championship. Okoya-Thomas was born in Lagos on June 8, 1935, to late Huzam Okoya-Thomas and late Alajas Wabat Okoya-Thomas. He had his elementary education at the Princess School, Lagos, between 1942 and 1946. He subsequently proceeded to Baptist Academy for his high school education and left Baptist Academy in 1956 as the best graduating student. He was aged 79. Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan has condoled with the people of Lagos on the death of Chief Molade Okoya-Thomas, whom he described as one of Nigeria's leading entrepreneurs. The president said in a condolence message that he shares their pain and sorrow as they mourned the man who was popularly known as the Ashoju Oba of Lagos. He, however, wants members of the Okoya-Thomas family to be comforted by the knowledge that he lived a worthy and fulfilled life and left a legacy of great entrepreneurial achievements. President Jonathan believes Chief Okoya-Thomas will also be long remembered and honored as a very generous philanthropist and sports enthusiast who established the popular Ashoju Oba Table Tennis Championship. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has also described the death of foremost industrialist Chief Molade Okoya-Thomas as a huge blow to the Nigerian business community. Atiku, in a press statement by his media office in Abuja, noted that the late Okoya-Thomas was a visionary and astute businessman whose contribution to Nigeria's private sector economy will remain indelible. He noted that although the late Molade Okoya-Thomas died at the prime age of 79, his death remains a huge blow to the community of businessmen in Nigeria. You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. Don't go away.
Your account is too low for this call.
Never get stranded with MTN Extra Time. You can now borrow airtime and pay back at your next recharge. Dial *606# now to enjoy the new MTN Extra Time.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Back. If you just joined us, you're watching CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of our top stars. President Goodluck Jonathan receives report of the forensic audit report into the alleged missing $20 billion oil revenue. Federal government confirms the recapture of Gamboro Ngala and other towns from Boko Haram by troops. All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari meets organized private sector, promises to revamp the economy. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NJ. And we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, space and news. And back to our earlier report, President Goodluck Jonathan has received the report of the forensic audit of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission from representatives of PricewaterhouseCoopers. The audit was ordered in the aftermath of claims by the then Central Bank Governor, Lamido Sanusi Lamido, that $20 billion was missing from the nation coffers. The report was submitted by the country's senior partner of the audit firm, Uyi Akpata, at a brief ceremony witnessed by the Auditor General of the Federation.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name again is Uyi Akpata, the country's senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Nigeria. It's a privilege for us to have conducted this exercise on behalf of government, and I hope you will find it useful, as I said, in undertaking the continuous reforms in the petroleum industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Auditor General of the Federation. Thank you. You know, there's been so much of controversies over this NNPC and leakages or not leakages. The National Assembly have looked into it. I remember the Senate has also looked into it. They also used professionals to look into it. And whatever they get the reports, what appears in the papers from speculations is very high. Figures that I can't even imagine that the country would earn that kind of money. It's been branded on the newspapers, so I'm quite pleased that you've taken a forensic audit of this. It's voluminous, and I will give it to the professionals because that's how the government works. There are statutory, people that have the statutory responsibilities to handle such assignments, and who is the Auditor General of the Federation. So the General will look at it, and at least within the week, let us get the key highlights, because the media will want to know the key findings, vis-a-vis the Senate findings, and the figures being branded in the newspaper, because Nigerians must be interested. And did you mention the issue of the reform in the sector? Everybody knows that the sector needs to be reformed.
The presidential flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has promised to put the nation's economy back on track if elected during the February 14th poll. Abiola Oluwole was at the State House Marina, venue of the meeting. His reporters presented from our studios.
The essence of the meeting, according to a presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, is to give an insight into the manifestos of the party to the members.
Our studies show that we will require no less than 200,000 trained personnel to support the initiative to provide power and light of Nigeria. Apart from the inherent direct employment that this will give, the reduction in cost production, the saving from self-generation by Nigerians who currently spend a lot of their income on purchase of diesel and petrol to generate their own electricity to reduce the burden on their disposable income.
Against the backdrop of its decision to stay out of presidential debates, the All Progressives Congress has announced a series of town hall meetings. This, according to the Presidential Campaign Organization, is a deliberate strategy for Muhammadu Buhari and his running mate, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to interact and speak directly to citizens on the policy thrust of their envisaged administration and how the objectives will be achieved. He said in a statement in Abuja that the town hall meetings kicked off in Lagos on Monday with an interaction between Buhari Osinbajo and the organized private sector. Spokesman for the campaign team, Garba Shehu, said the party was compelled to chart this course because of the need for person-to-person interactive sessions, during which pertinent questions were posed to the candidates and responses provided. The team is slated to be in Kano on Tuesday to interact with traders and market associations before heading for Benin to meet labor and civil society leaders. People's Democratic Party has described the decision by the All Progressives Congress to back out of live television debates as a contemptuous act. It noted that it was a despicable decision and called on Nigerians to respond by rejecting APC and its presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari. The party's presidential campaign organization said in a statement by its spokesman Femi Fani-Kayode that it shows that General Buhari is incapable of engaging in rigorous live television debates on the issues of governance. PDP argued that the opposition party pulled out of the debate organized by the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria and Channels Television because it was out to shield Buhari from public scrutiny. Nigeria's leading opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, had in the last few days been traversing the country in its quest to sell its message of change to Nigerians. Benin City, Ibadan, Lagos and Ilorin are some of the cities the party leaders have touched in recent times, drawing huge crowds of APC supporters. Basi Aye, who was on the campaign trail with the opposition party, now provides some insight into the rallies in these cities.
It's less than 2 weeks to the long-awaited February 14 presidential elections, and many Nigerians are itching to exercise their franchise. But not before all candidates, especially the two leading ones, conclude their campaign rallies across the country. And it is in this light that the All Progressives Congress team took to the remaining states in the South-South and some parts of the Southeast. First port of call was Edo State, where they had a rousing reception from the residents, as confirmed by this site at the Ogbemodia Stadium.
General Buhari, all over Nigeria. General Buhari, all over Nigeria. This president has not treated us as his brothers. So now we will vote for change. We will vote to replace darkness with light. We will vote for a man who will not allow our children to be defrauded by the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
The train moved on to Lagos State, where the traffic situation spoke volumes. The route leading to the Taslim Balogun Stadium was choked with vehicular and human traffic. Then it was on to Ilorin, Kwara State capital, on Saturday, where the scene was unbelievable. Many residents were on the streets to welcome the change agents, from the airports to the Metropolitan Square.
Last time we gave PDP over 75, but I think 80%. Last time in 2011. 2015 here as well, because we are now APC, APC will now get that result as well. Minimum will give them that same figure, because that's where all the supporters are moved to.
We have been working consistently to ensure the improvement of good governance, and we've gotten the buy-in from the people, and the people have come up with a strong resolve to support our system of governance, which is delivering goods and services.
The nemesis of PDP. Hey, buddy! Let's go!
At all the venues, the messages were the same, as the leadership and the candidate took turns at winning the minds of the people.
Our responsibility is to get a good president who will do something for us and for Nigeria. And I will thank God that the president himself is present at the meeting. Is the president that went to Port Harcourt and say, "This he say I've done nothing. Don't worry, if you vote for me, I will do something." You know what I call him now? I will do president. As if I said I have done, we will vote out this, I will do president.
Our priority is firstly to secure this country. Secondly, unemployment. The youth of this country are more than 60% of the population. And whether they build school or not, they are not employed. This is extremely dangerous for the nation state.
What do you do to a government that steals from you? Change. What do you do to a government that cannot provide jobs? Change. What do you do to a government that cannot secure your life? Change. Yes, the time for change has come.
The party leaders are still on a mobilization tour ahead of the presidential polls, and they are hopeful that February 14 will reflect the change they had been promising Nigerians. Basia, CoreTV News.
Former head of state Abdulsalami Abubakar has cautioned against threat of war emanating from different camp of political supporters if the candidates fail to win presidential election in the country. This warning is coming against the background of recent threats issued by some ex-Niger Delta militants, as well as inciting statements from members of the political class. Abubakar gave the warning in Abuja after a closed-door meeting with members of the National Peace Committee and some head of security agencies on averting electoral violence in the country. The former head of state, who was the chairman of the committee, revealed that the group would soon be meeting key political leaders on the issue. We'll bring you details of that story in a subsequent bulletin. The Lagos PDP campaign train has moved to Lagos Island in preparation for the February 28th gubernatorial election. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the small campus square Lagos venue of the campaign, and she filed in this report.
Despite the scorching sun, the people of Lagos Island trooped out to welcome the Lagos PDP governorship candidate, Jimmy Agbaje. Former Minister for State Defense, Musiliu Obanikoro, says Jimmy Agbaje is the right choice for a greater Lagos.
You can only rely on someone you trust. We have given them an opportunity for 16 years to serve us. They have failed us.
Lagos PDP leader Bode George berets the present administration, saying it is inhuman and unfair to the people of Lagos State.
The most important thing is the human being. The only thing that is missing in our government in Lagos is that they are inhuman. How can you have a man who came in Bole Kaja with rubber slippers because of the love, because of the accommodating nature of Lagosians? We accepted everybody. What had he done when our Baba trusted him? He has appropriated all the assets of Lagos State. What will, for me now, what else am I looking for? But as long as I breathe, we will make sure that all the assets of this government in Lagos will be returned to the people. Yes, sir. The people. Yes, sir. To the people. Will be returned to the people.
Jimmy Agbaje, the Lagos PDP governorship candidate, assures the people of gaining all what they have lost to the present administration if he is voted for at the polls.
When appointments are to be made, when you are talking about market women leader, there's a deliberate attempt to make sure that our markets are run and governed by people who do not know where Lagos is coming from. When you look at our Lagos, all the assets of Lagos are being taken over in the name of public enterprise and given to private pockets. You know, I have no fear. As far as those assets are concerned, I have no fear that we will take them back.
The Lagos PDP urged the people to vote for Jimmy Agbaje as he is the only person that can liberate Lagosians. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
With the general elections gradually drawing near and the various parties continue with their campaigns, a former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, says the People's Democratic Party's governorship candidate in Lagos, Jimmy Agbaje, is not competent to be governor of Lagos. Tinubu, who is also the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, says the APC's Akinwumi Ambode is the right man for the job. He made this known at the party's mega rally in Ojo. Kazim Kasali's report on the rally is presented from our studios.
With the music of Fuji King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal welcoming him, national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, thanked the people of Ojo for their support over the years, disclosing that it is the support from the people that he has not taken for granted by being in Lagos when other leaders are in Yola for the party's presidential campaign. On the governorship election in Lagos, Tinubu says the candidate of the PDP, Jimmy Agbaje, is not competent for the job, having worked at close quarters with all the dramatis personae. He says that was why Fashola was chosen ahead of him in 2007. He added that anyone who cannot grow the business beyond a shop is not fit to be governor of Lagos.
He wanted to be governor. He opposed and ran with Tunde Fashola. When we defeated him in primary, we said, you need training. We can train you in Senate, or we train you as a deputy governor. But you are not in the adequate yet, demonstrate intellectual curiosity and capacity to do the job.
For his part, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says the forthcoming general elections is a vote between continuing with prosperity in Lagos and changing the misery at the federal level, urging people to vote for prosperity.
The issue here is not about religion. It is not about ethnic group. It is not about the language you speak. It is about prosperity and poverty. Poverty has no religion. It affects both faiths. Bible rules do not discriminate against faith. When there is poverty and illness, it does not discriminate against any religion. The work of government is to reduce poverty and promote prosperity. For 16 years, at the federal government level, has PDP done that?
Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode says he will continue with the process of opening up the Badagry division that has been started by Tinubu and Fashola.
They've been asking, they say, who's the APC candidate? Because you see, that's their challenge. This is a game of tradition of excellence. All the people that support us are the people that have always loved Lagos and do their best for Lagos. That's why we are proud of all our leaders. That's why we are proud of all our governors. They stand by excellence. They are not proud to show their own president or to show any PDP candidate that has done very well. But I'm very proud of my leaders because they've done excellently well. And I want to continue in that tradition of excellence of which Lagos is known for. What I assure you, and I promise you, we will keep Lagos working.
But while retailers took advantage of the massive crowd to make brisk business and people gathered continued to listen and revel in the messages, this happened.
To the podium.
Many people took to their heels, but order was immediately restored and the campaign continued without further incident.
You're on to CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Which person can you carry?
And we now for
MTN Cash Quiz.
You see the look? Plenty people don't they win 10 million naira every week and 1 million naira every day. To win, just dial star 170 hash for free and correct who go the with you. Whether that TV or generator or phone, you fit win all for free every day.
MTN, everywhere you go.
On business tonight, in a bid to resolve the liquidity challenges in the power sector, on Monday, the Central Bank of Nigeria released a total loan of 18.26 billion naira to 5 power firms. The amount, which was given at an interest rate of 10% with a repayment period of 10 years, is part of the 213 billion naira Nigerian electricity market stabilization facility. Ibadan Distribution Electricity Distribution PLC received the highest amount of 11.36 billion naira, while Eco Electricity Distribution PLC had 5.16 billion naira. For the generation companies, Jeba Hydroelectric PLC received the highest chunk of 816.83 million naira, while Kanji Hydroelectric PLC and Shiriro Hydroelectric PLC received 678.85 million naira and 234.881 million naira respectively. The disbursement of the loan is a follow-up to the Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed last December between the Apex Bank, Participating Deposit Money Banks, and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says it sees Nigeria's inflation stay in single digit, precisely 8.8% in 2015, even as pressure continues to mount on the naira. The NBS also foresees prices remaining moderately stable over a 3-year period to 2017, with inflation averaging 8.13%, according to the Bureau. Pressure on inflation rates. Meanwhile, the naira firmed by 1.5% on Monday by the Central Bank of Nigeria intervention of dollar sales from multinational oil company. The currency, which opened at 188 naira 70 kobo to a dollar, firmed to 185 naira 60 kobo in early hour trading following the dollar sale. The CBN asked commercial lenders to bid for $500,000 in auction windows. Now let's join Sabina Izoko for today's stock markets report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izuku. The equities market on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on a positive note today as the Nigerian All Shares Index appreciated by 1.08% to close at 29,882.28 basis points. The market capitalization increased to close at 9.95 trillion naira. In all, the total volume of 254.8 million units of shares valued at 3.2 billion naira exchanged in 5,501 deals. Seplat oil topped the gainers chart to close at 318 naira with a gain of 12 naira 77 kobo, followed by Nigerian Breweries, Nestle, GlaxoSmithKline, and Dangote Summit. On the flip side, 40 oil topped the chart, trailed by Sevena, Presco, United Africa Company of Nigeria, and Eco Transnational Incorporation. Meanwhile, First Bank Nigerian Holdings topped the trainers chart, to follow by Access Bank, First City Merchant Bank, Dangote Sugar, and Sterling Bank. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
And on sports tonight, having been voted the most outstanding player at the Super 6 tournament, all eyes will be on Taiwo Awoniyi, the attacker in Senegal, as is expected to lead the charge for goals for Manu Gabra's boys in the absence of Kelechi Iheanacho and Isaac Success. The Imperial Academy, a Ilorin product, has publicly showered praise on the Flying Eagles handlers after the team upset the favorites, including the Dream Team and Kano Pillars, to win the Super Six. Taiwo Awoniyi's display at the 2013 FIFA Under-17 caught the eye of a plethora of clubs in Europe, but it's Kamal who has won the race for his signature, with the youngster expected to sign professional terms in August. Cote d'Ivoire's tactician Hervé Renard admits that Algeria is the best team in the tournament and his side did well to eliminate the best. Well, the French-speaking mentor was speaking after his side thumped the Desert Foxes by 3-1 in their 2015 CAF African Cup of Nations quarter-final clash at Estadio de Lamabo in Equatorial Guinea on Sunday night. A brace from Manchester City new signing Wilfred Bunny inspired the Elephants into the semi-finals, whilst as Roma star Javinho netted the third goal to set up a semi-final date against the Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday. Renard will undoubtedly set his eye on the African trophy, having tasted the continental glory with Zambia's Chipolopolo 3 years ago, beating the Ivorians on penalties. The next match against the Leopards at Estadio de Malabo is on Wednesday night. Well, Reading Football Club has announced the deadline day signing of experienced striker Yakubu Ayegbeni, who joins Steve Clark's Royals until the end of the season. Having put pen to paper down at the Royals Hoogwood Park training ground this afternoon, the former Portsmouth, Middlesbrough, Everton and Blackburn frontman will take squad number 20 at Reading. Manager Steve Clark said an experienced goal scorer, Yakubu, brings a fantastic scoring record to his club, and his addition will complement the strikers that we've already got at Reading and help to improve as a team in later stages of the season. Football's world governing body FIFA announced on Monday that 4 candidates are bidding to become its president, including longtime incumbent Sepp Blatter. The 3 others who have thrown their heart into the ring are Asian Football Confederation Vice President Prince Ali Bin Al Hussein of Jordan, former Portugal international Luis Figo, and Dutch football chief Michael van Praag. 2 others who had been considering making bids, former France international forward David Ginola and ex-FIFA executive official Jeremy Champagne, both failed to get the necessary backing from 5 national associations. Our FIFA statement said that the candidature dossiers would next go before the investigatory chamber of an independent ethics committee to carry out integrity checks on the 4 men within 10 days. After that, the FIFA Executive Committee will meet in Zurich on May 29 and decide if Blatter will get a 5th term as president or bring in a new man. And outside Nigeria, 2 other stories. U.S. negotiators traveled to EU headquarters in Brussels on Monday to jumpstart talks on the world's biggest ever free trade deal, which after nearly 2 years remain bogged down by public opposition. The future of the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Pact, or TTIP, is in doubt in the face of bitter opposition by activists and mixed signals from key governments, including Europe's biggest economy, Germany. Corporate Europe said this is the dirtiest trade deal in Europe's history. A new video posted by the anti-TTIP group, particularly controversial, is a plan to let companies have legal disputes with governments head by supranational tribunals, which campaigners say would undermine national sovereignty and favor corporations. To end CoreTV Primetime News tonight, a recap of our major stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has received report of the forensic audit report into the alleged missing $20 billion oil revenue. We also reported that the federal government has confirmed the recapture of Gamborun Gala and other towns from Boko Haram by troops. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari has met organized private sector and promised to revamp the economy. And that wraps it on the news tonight. On behalf of the production crew, I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for watching.